We are on a 3-week road trip through all parts of Norway. We are hiking, we see fjords, beautiful lakes, glaciers, mountains, beaches, the midnight sun, cities.
Kristiansund lies on multiple islands, so the ocean is never far away.
Most nights are spent in our tents.
Here is our tent. We always use the outer layer in case it rains. We have been using this thing. It's not very heavy. Ready to cook.
We just love driving, and this has been the perfect vacation for the summer of 2020. On this episode, isn't this spectacular? Maybe this can be a good spot to set up our tents. And it's not cold.
So you've probably seen what we have been eating over the last few days. 2 pans. I have here a kettle handle to put on the pots, and the result is delicious spaghetti.
But what I think is the most special feature of Saltfjellet is that the Arctic Circle cuts right through this area. You can experience 1 full day of light per year.
Well, that's the most beautiful circle I've ever seen.
In this video, we visit Norway's second biggest island with wild mountainous scenery, Senja. We also start our drive south again and visit the Arctic Circle Center at the Arctic Circle. In the previous video, we drove through Finnish Lapland and saw the scenery of another country.
There are lakes everywhere here.
And we visited the Russian border.
Here is the border with Russia.
We're enjoying northern Norway so much. The plan is to visit western Norway soon, but we have time to stick around for another day. We are entering Senja. Senja is known for its spectacular mountains. Where it meets the Norwegian Sea, the landscape is rugged, but the inner side is more mild. It is summer here, but there is still snow on the island's tall peaks. Isn't this spectacular? The mountains are so steep. There's a quick drop into the sea. We stop at Ersfjord, the Ersfjord beach. Maybe this can be a good spot to set up our tents. Let's take a look. Okay, so we're in northern Norway, about as north as central Greenland, and as north as northern Alaska. And it's not cold. I'm comfortable walking in my bikini here. The temperature is above 20 degrees. It is a perfect summer day in northern Norway.
Let's test the water. Ooh, okay, this is way too cold to swim in. It's really beautiful here. So you've probably seen what we have been eating over the last few days. And maybe you're wondering how we can make this food without having a kitchen. And we have been using this thing, and we call it, in Norwegian we say stormkjøkken. I don't know how to say this in English, but I can explain it to you. So this is what we use. It's compact and it's not very heavy. So first we just open this up. I'm not an expert on this, I've just learned how to use this thing, so probably not the best person to explain this. But maybe you'll understand. And I turn this around, and the first thing I get is a frying pan. But take the plastic out, that's important. So I have a frying pan, and then it looks like this from the inside. I take away these things. It's not that easy. Okay, and I have here a kettle for cooking water or boiling water. It boils pretty fast in this thing, so we prefer using this for boiling water. And then inside here we have 2 pans, and now we have a small little kitchen here on the beach.
There are 2 ways to use the stormkjøkken. I'm explaining the simplest way first.
If we want to heat this up, we are using gas. Just open this up and put this on. Open this up. Then I can just pull whatever pan I prefer to use, for instance this frying pan here, and I can start cooking. And I have to turn this on, of course, and inside this kettle we have something more. Here is the handle to put on the pots, so now I have the frying pan. It's easy to hold. And we have matches. So let's see if I can do this. First, turn the gas on. Hear that sound? And this is a little tricky. They're pretty old matches. Oh, please.
These are old matches.
Got some new matches? Yes. Okay. And we're ready to cook. The frying pan also works as a lid. And today we're making spaghetti. And now we use one of the pots to boil the water.
This is a second way to use the stormkjøkken, and by combining the two methods, we can heat two things at a time. In the lower unit, we are burning rødsprit, a type of spirits, an alcohol. We put the pot on top. This structure is a lot more stable than the first structure, and by burning the spirits, there's also less sound. Bacon goes in the frying pan. Add milk and pasta carbonara powder.
And the result is delicious spaghetti.
We used the pots as plates, and we brought some cutlery. I have loved cooking this way. Somehow the food tastes better when we're outside. Yes, it is a bit hard and we keep the cooking simple, but it's also more fun than cooking indoors, I think. It is getting late. The sun has moved behind the mountains and the tent is up. And just in time because it started to rain. It is day 14 and there are 10 days left of our vacation. Now the plan is to drive south again and explore western Norway. Luckily for us, there's still a long way to drive. After 8.5 hours of driving, we enter Saltfjellet, literally meaning salt mountain, and we are at a high elevation, up to 692 meters above sea level. There are no trees here, just short bushes and some snow. Nearby is the glacier Svartisen that we saw earlier on our trip. We were then at the opposite side. But what I think is the most special feature of Saltfjellet is that the Arctic Circle cuts right through this area. We visit the Arctic Circle Center at 66 degrees north. Inside is a restaurant and a souvenir shop. Outside are varder, piles of stones that people have made here.
We're at the Arctic Circle, at least where it was in 1990.
Well, that is not completely true, but the Arctic Circle moves. First, let me explain what the Arctic Circle is. The Arctic Circle is a circle that goes around the Earth, around the Arctic parts in the north, through Russia, Finland, Sweden, Norway, just barely through Iceland, Greenland, Canada, and Alaska. It is one of two polar circles, the other one being the Antarctic Circle in the south of the planets. They have everything to do with the sun. See, the Arctic Circle marks the border of where the midnight sun and the winter darkness occur. Midnight sun occurs when the sun does not set at all during parts of the summer, when the sun for 24 hours per day continuously stays above the horizon. So if you're at the Arctic Circle, you're at the southernmost point where the midnight sun occurs. That means that here at the Arctic Circle, you can experience one full day of light per year. If you travel further north, there are more full days of light. The same goes for winter darkness, when the sun does not rise at all during parts of the winter. And yes, the Arctic Circle moves. It is defined by the tilt of the Earth towards or away from the sun, which fluctuates. So the Arctic Circle moves around 14.25 meters every year. This monument shows that the center was built in 1990, but the Arctic Circle has not crossed right through here since 1917. Now, the Arctic Circle lies over 1 kilometer away from the center. It's still close though.
And look at how beautiful it is here. Well, that's the most beautiful circle I've ever seen. Oh, and it's a national park too.
Today was a driving day. We have driven 10.5 hours. We stay at a camping tonight. Here are the coordinates.
So these buildings are really old. Now we're heading to Norway's west coast. Molde.